Hello, beautiful friends, and welcome. Cheers to 2025. I can't believe that we are here. If you can hear the fireworks going off, but yeah, I'm coming to you guys. Oh, can I open this? Oh, goodness. I was trying to find... Ooh. There we go. Here is my thrifted little glass I absolutely love. But this is so exciting. Cheers to 2025. How is it going? How was your new year? It's literally midnight and I'm filming this for you guys because why not? I am doing a Q&A video for you guys today. I hope that I can answer some of the questions that you guys had for me and just get to know me a little bit more on a personal level. If I don't get to your question, do leave it in the comments and I will try to get to it in one of the upcoming videos. I am in my daughter's room today because the diva light is here and I just didn't want to move anything because I usually film by the sliding door in the living room with the natural light. So I don't know if this video is going to look a little bit different or not. So I do look a little different. I did chop my hair off. It was just getting too long and a little bit straggly. I feel like it just looks so much thicker and just suits me a little bit better. But I have my notebook here and ready to answer some of your questions. I do get a lot of questions about my kids, so we shall see. The first question is, where are you from originally? And following that is, do you speak another language? So yes, I was born in Ukraine. We left Ukraine in 1989. I was 2.5 years old. We traveled through Italy. We lived in Rome for about 9 months. I turned 3 there, and then we came here to California. I do speak Ukrainian, and when I met my husband as a teenager, I learned Russian from him. Next question is tips and tricks on how to stay tidy and organized in a small space. So there is 4 of us in this apartment. It is 1,000 square feet. So it's small, but I wouldn't say it's like that small. We have 2 master bedrooms and they both have a bathroom. And it's quite a bit of space, I would say. My main tip is to take seasonal things out of your home if you are able to and put it in storage. I rent a garage downstairs, so it helps me so much to get extra like kitchen gadgets out of the way, seasonal things like shaved ice or extra like a Dutch oven, camping gear, what else, snowboarding things, just so many things that can go in there, you know, bicycles and, you know, just so much that needs to be out of the house seasonally. And that is one of my main things. My other tip is cleaning daily and then weekly. So I don't like visual clutter. Like, well, I feel like I'm a maximalist with things like plants and decor. I love a lot of things, but I don't like a mess. So my kids have daily chores that they do, and then they have weekly chores like deep cleaning, I would say, and that is just the trick. Everybody knows what is expected of them, and they tidy up, keep the house clean, organized, because they're not allowed to have friends over if the house isn't clean or tidy at least. And yeah, they love to have friends over, so I feel like it's a win-win situation. I hope that answers your question because there are so many elements to keeping a clean home. If you want me to make a more in-depth video, definitely let me know, but that is just like the basics. How do you raise your girls to have faith in God in the world we live in today? So I think this is a very touchy subject because we live in a world that cancels everybody and everything if they don't like what they hear. And to me, I was born into a Christian home. My parents were raised us Pentecostal. We like lived in church, I would say. It was on a daily. Now, I raised my kids to not only have this like perception of God, like the pastors go to God, like you go to the pastors and the pastors go to God type of thing. I feel like a lot of very religious families are kind of raised that way. I want my kids to have a close relationship with God, you know, to be filled with the Spirit, to love God on a personal level. And if that happens, then I think they make their own decisions, you know, like it's not like, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that because my mom said, or because my dad said, or because grandma said. No, it's because they read the word of God. I, you know, have conversations with them daily, like all the time, and they know right from wrong, you know. And that's not to say that there's no temptation in this world or, you know, peer pressure. All of that happens. But I think the number one thing is to talk to your kids all the time. Car rides, when you're cooking in the kitchen, family meals are so important. And just instilling in them that you don't have to follow the world. This is what we pray on the way to school. Some of the things that we just say, or they repeat after me, or we, you know, say it together now that they're a little bit older. I am a leader and not a follower. I am the head and not the tail. I am the salt of this world. And you explain to them, what is the salt of this world? If salt loses its saltiness, then it's bland and it has no power, right? So I always tell my kids, you rather stand out than blend in. And sometimes that's hard to grasp for children and even for adults, you know, because who wants to, like, there are times obviously that you want to stand out, you look beautiful, this, that, but sometimes you just want to blend in with your peers, you know, you don't want to stand out. But when it comes to sin, good or bad, you don't want to blend in with the world, you know. I always tell my kids, if everybody is vaping, do you want to be there on that side? You know what I mean? So also I have girls, you know, and these crop tops and booty shorts. I mean, all of these things, it's difficult. And I always remind them that you are beautiful and you are made in the image of God. So respect your body and how much you are revealing, and just really get to thinking, you know. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. But also one last thing, the number one thing is it's never too early to start. I would always read with my children and have devotional time with them. I would always have them see me read my Bible in the mornings, because oftentimes we want to wake up early, we want to have our devotional time, but do your kids see you read the Bible? Do they see you have that personal time, that one-on-one time with God? And the number one thing is to, how many times did I say number one thing? But very, very important is having devotional time with your kids, or them having it alone when they are old enough. I have books for each and every one of my kids, and they have their time with the Word of God every single morning before they go to school. And I also teach them to pray, because, you know, one time my older one was really mad at me, and I was like, Ella, did you do your Did you say your prayer this morning? And she said, why? You pray for me. And I said, yes, but I don't know exactly what you need for that day, but you do. So why not you be responsible for your day? You know, do you have a test that morning? Do you have, you know, issues with any of your friends? Like, what are some of the things that would help you say a prayer for that day? It's important for you to take responsibility for that. And she kind of thought about it and she was like, you're right. And she said a prayer right then and there. So I think it's just a lot of small things combined together, you know, but very important to talk to your kids and listen to them, answer their questions to the best of your ability, because sometimes they do have insane questions that I'm like, I don't know how to answer that. Sorry, I don't want to make this video too long, but it just seems like I have so much to say about everything, and we are only on question 3. You mentioned that you are married, but then you are single. How is that? So I am married, but my husband is struggling with some things. He is struggling with an addiction, so he's getting help right now. It's been a very difficult time for my family. I moved away from my husband. Oh gosh, I think it's almost 9 years now. Yeah, and sometimes you just have to do what is best and safe for yourself and for your children. And I thought it was time to get out, and after 9 years, he's finally getting help. So if you have it in your heart to pray for my husband, because it has been a journey. I'm not gonna cry, but it has been a long, long journey. How do you stay, the next question is, how do you stay positive? In a world that is, or can be, so negative, it's just important to focus on the positive, because there's always going to be negative things in life. Like, there's always something that isn't right. And if we focus on that, we're never going to enjoy our life. And I know that it's not that we can always enjoy our life to the fullest, because there's always things that are not in place or right. But I think the worst thing that a person can have is a victim mentality. And I mean, there's a lot that happened to me in my lifetime, you know, with my kids and my husband and stuff. But I choose joy because there's no other way, you know. My kids have one sober parent right now, and I want to give them the best childhood that I can give them, you know. And not to say that it's been so easy for me, but I will not allow myself to get to a dark place, you know. I choose to surround myself with positive people, with people that will not, I won't say help me, because I don't always open up to people, but just to like do things with people and surround myself with community, with church, my siblings, and just not be in a place where I'm depressed and just not wanting to be around people, if you know what I mean. So, what was the question? How to stay positive. It's not always easy. It's not, but I think having a positive mindset is so important. Surrounding yourself by like-minded people. One of the things that I had to do is unfollow a lot of people on Instagram, because if I am looking at their content and I don't feel like it's positive, I'm not going to follow you, because I want to surround myself and even social media with positive things like cooking, maybe working out, nature, hiking, lake day, kayaking, camping, all the fun things, you know. And then of course, teachable things like ministry, cooking, all kinds of things. So it's hard to stay positive, but I think it's definitely doable. Now let's move on to the next one. Are you employed? So yes, I am originally a hairstylist, and I did a lot of like hair and makeup for weddings and special events. But recently, my parents have gone through a lot of health issues. So now I'm taking care of my mom full time. And it's it's a challenge because she is a very like independent woman, but we are learning, and I think it will be, a good thing. And then of course I'm doing YouTube. YouTube is a lot of work, like editing and filming. It's a lot, but I love it, and I hope that I can just expand and grow in YouTube so it can bring me a little bit more income and, maybe take vacation. I really want to go to San Diego this summer. Next is, do you do any crafts, and do you crochet like your daughters? So I've always wanted to know how to make my own clothes and crochet, but I never learned. My daughter taught herself through YouTube, and she loves it. She's making herself a blanket. She made me a little mushroom for Christmas. Yeah, she loves it, but no, I don't know how to crochet. So next question. How do you have such a great relationship with your daughters? I got a lot of questions and on lots of different videos. How do you have a good relationship with your daughters? So for me, okay, growing up, we got spanked. And I told myself I don't want to spank my kids. I did, a little bit when they were younger, like tap their butt or, stuff like that. But I always wanted to talk it out. My husband told me that before his dad passed away, he always said that his dad never spanked him. Like, he would sit him down and he would talk to him. And in my mind, I was like, how? How is that possible? And, from that time, I was like, that's exactly how we're going to raise our kids. So I talk it out. Anything that, if they do something that they weren't supposed to do, I'm always like, so what happened? How did this happen? What did you think? What was your thought process? Why did you think it was okay to do this? And because I take the time to talk to them, they have so much respect for me, But sometimes they're like, Mom, just spank me because I don't want to sit here and talk to you. So I think that's funny. But, just one of the most important things I learned is not everything has to be a teaching moment, Just have fun with your kids. Just literally have fun. Joke around. We wrestle all the time. Like, I wrestle with my kids all the time. We like tickling. I'm so ticklish. Like, it's not even funny. And they always try to tickle me like every chance they get. So being playful, having that playful spirit, I think is so important because that's what kids crave. Just that unconditional love and attention that they really need because they're learning in school for so many hours. Anywhere that they go, they're like learning and under pressure, whether it's like soccer practice or volleyball, they're performing, they're trying to do well. So when they come home, it's nice to be able to like, like breathe and just, relax. So I hope that answers your question. Okay. Share how you film your videos. I want to start a YouTube channel. What do you use to edit your videos? So if you want to start a YouTube channel this upcoming year, I will say just go for it. It's a lot of work, I will say, but it's fun. And I do use Video Leap by Light Tricks. So I pay for that yearly. I don't know if there's like any free editing apps out there, but I really like this one. I've been with this one for a very long time. And I film my videos on my phone. So it's a battle with storage, but you can definitely do it. Just delete your videos as you go and just post. You will learn the ins and outs of everything as you go. I know I've made some mistakes, like having my music too loud in the beginning, but you guys, I got monetized in 5 weeks, like a little under 6 weeks. And to get monetized, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and you have to have 4,000 watch hours, not minutes, but hours. And it's a lot. Sometimes, you know, if people get really lucky, obviously their video can go viral and, you know, they can do it quickly, but usually it takes a long time. And they also give you a consecutive year to do that before you can start getting paid. So I know it can get really frustrating. I mean, if you want me to make a video on this more in depth, I definitely can. So the last question is, did you always like to cook, and can you please make more food videos and include recipes? I do apologize. I don't follow any recipes. If I do follow a recipe, like if I want to make something and my mom is like, oh, it's a recipe for 50 people, then I will look up a recipe and kind of reference to Natasha's Kitchen. She makes Slavic food, and it's just very helpful because it's like, you know, for smaller families or smaller parties. But I did always like to cook. I love to be in the kitchen with my mom and helping her make all the things. And that's why I teach my kids to cook, because if it's such an amazing talent or skill to have, to be able to cook for yourself and, you know, play around with different seasonings, spices, make it the way that you want it. So yeah, I hope that that answers all of your questions. I hope that this video inspired you one way or another, and I really hope that I didn't offend you in any way. But if you do have any suggestions for me, if you are more experienced in anything I talked about, definitely leave it in the comments. I love to read your stuff. Anything that you comment now. I do apologize. I haven't had the time to get back to the last video that I posted. I thank each and every one of you for all the kind words that were said. I am planning on getting back to you guys very soon. I hope that this new year you have some goals in mind, you have things you want to accomplish this year. If you would like to hear anything else about me or my family, do comment below. I feel like this video is getting really long, but I'm excited for this new year. Do you guys hear the fireworks going off? I can't believe it's literally midnight and I'm not sleeping because I had an extra cup of coffee today. But I'm excited for the new things to come this new year. I do have some goals in mind. Just all around, I'm super stoked about this year, because this past couple months it's been very difficult. We're still trying to figure things out with my daughter and her breakouts. We finally have an appointment scheduled for an allergy specialist. So I hope that we can figure this out. But for now, she's been taking Benadryl, and it is drowsy. So it's difficult for her to kind of be in soccer 5 days a week. But yeah, I'm rattling on. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to hear anything else. And remember, live life beautifully today.